I am Sarah Pepin. I'm the program assistant for Plan. So you've probably been seeing emails from me on the listserv. I post a lot of the stuff on the website and Facebook as well. So please join us for more of these trainings. We're very glad to have been given a grant from TSLAC to provide this for y'all. And right now, we're going to do adult programming in the library, and it's going to be presented by Brianna, who's the library programs manager for Victoria Public Library. So, Victoria. So, Brianna, I'm going to pass that on to you.
All right. Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Brianna. I am the library programs manager at the Victoria Public Library. I started my programming journey, I think about 2017 as the adult services librarian here. Now I get to help with all ages, but adult programming is still my main focus. And I don't know if anyone else here does adult programming yet, or if y'all are just getting started, but it can be a challenge. You're talking about a wide range of people. There's 18 to possibly like 99 or older. So it's a big group to cater to. And everyone has different interests. So it can take some time to find your rhythm and get into the groove of what works for your library and your community. When we first started focusing adult programming, we were probably doing 1 to 3 programs a month that just focused on adults. Our first change was very simple. We just started adding reading challenges to our summer programming. We ran one for the youth, so it made sense to add one for our adults as well. I think we started in 2018 with that PBS Great American Reads program. We did a bingo based off of that. And then slowly that year, we just started adding a little more each month, and now we do about 15 to 20 programs a month. So it was a big jump. So when you're starting, before you start getting into planning, you want to think about the goals that you're trying to reach with your programs. What purpose are you doing? This will help you decide what type of programs that you want to try. Are there any strategic plan goals that you need to meet or that you would like to meet? Ours at the time of me starting, we had a goal of hosting at least 3 collaborative art programs each year. And we were able to pass that within no time, just with staff and partnerships. Maybe your library administration team, book bingos, sorry, I was reading the chat, not actual like bingo games. Maybe your library administration team or advisory boards are wanting to see something different offered at the library. They're also another good resource to reach out to get ideas. Or you could see what your community is asking for. I try to go to a lot of community events just to get to meet and talk with people. I follow community groups on Facebook, just as a way to keep an eye on what people are asking for. And that goes into understanding your community. What age groups, populations, demographics make up your city? Are you in a city that's made up of mostly families? Or do you live in a city that has a college, so maybe you have more younger adults? Maybe you have more retired adults that are looking for something to do. But learning these demographics can definitely help you with determining what types of programs to do and also the dates and times to hold them. It can also help to take note what types of events are already going on in your community and seeing what attendance is like. So are there art festivals or music festivals, maybe fairs? Are they drawing a big crowd? You can kind of base your programming around that, or say if there is a festival going on, you could do a program that would fall into there and create a partnership with the festival to draw in people to your library. So being in a rural community, you may not have a lot of resources available to choose from, especially if you're at a small library with a small budget for programming. What we did was we started with our staff. We, when we first started planning, I had two other staff members that helped me with adult programming. I feel like I was lucky with that because sometimes it's just one person doing it. But I asked them just what their hobbies were. We ended up starting a crochet and knitting group from one person's hobbies, and another started a writing group for the community with National Novel Writing Month. And I think another one was a teacher, so he started computer literacy classes that he ran in our computer lab. And it doesn't have to be programming staff that you reach out to. Maybe other staff on your library team just knows someone that would be willing to lead a class or a group if you offer them the space and library and someone to help with running a program. And then talking about space, it's another resource that you need to think about. You may be limited in space at your library. We have one large community room that we have to share with our youth programming, and with the community, they can also book it for their event. So sometimes scheduling can be a little crazy. Is there anywhere else in the community that you can take your programming? Maybe you can go outside on library grounds, or if there's a park nearby, um, or maybe hold it at a cafe or coffee slot. If there's a community center you can hold it to that you need a bigger space, like an auditorium for a speaker, if you expect a large crowd. We started using our community center for our kickoff events because our building just can't hold the number of people that it draws. Um, we also started hosting programs at restaurants and bars. We did trivia, we do a book club at bars. So just check around and see what options you have. A lot of places are willing to work with you because you're drawing a crowd to their business and they enjoy it, and it's win-win for both of us. Um, if you need ideas, online resources are a great tool. One of my favorite sites to browse is programminglibrarian.org. There are so many program plans available on there, and you're able to shape them any way to fit your library's needs. Um, Another resource I like are Facebook groups. I'm not big on social media. I always want to delete my profile, but I use it so much for work, just with following Facebook groups and community groups. The Programming Librarian Interest Group is amazing. It's a large community of programming librarians that share and discuss programs and ideas. Um, they're always willing to talk ideas out amongst each other. And I'm always sending screenshots of programs to my team or the youth team to for future programs. So they're probably tired of seeing that from me. And then you'll kind of get into planning. So you'll want to create a simple guide for yourself when it comes to planning. Think about what type of program you want to do and the purpose of it. Are you trying to get information out about a new resource at the library, maybe help library patrons with learning how to use a digital reading app like Libby? Or maybe you want to create a small social type program and start a group that meets monthly and does something simple that allows for conversations to happen. Knowing this can help you decide the format you want to do. Maybe it'll be a lecture where you have a speaker come in and lead a class, or if you want it to be a little more casual so that people can mingle with each other and just get to know each other, get to know their community. You want to think about like what space you'll need. Can you do this event in the library with the space you have? Is it something you need to do outside on library grounds or maybe in the park if you expect a bigger crowd? Um, and then think about the date and time. If you're wanting to reach the younger adult, you may not get them if you start a program at 3 because they don't get out of work until 5 or 6. Or maybe they have school. And this can be the opposite with older audiences, because if it's too late, they might not like driving at night and they would prefer something early in the day. So this will also help you decide what topic to do, what kind of audience you want to bring in. Um, and then when it comes to marketing, if it's a bigger event that you want to draw a large crowd to, you may want to start marketing a little earlier, maybe a month out, with reminders between um, about the event when it comes to that time. And it's also good to think about budgeting, deciding on how much money you have for a budget and what you can do with that. So is it something you need to buy supplies for the program, or maybe just provide refreshment? Can you reach out to community businesses for donations, or have someone sponsor a program, or at least the refreshments that you want to provide? That's another good way to create a partnership with local businesses, because it helps them get advertising out. So many of you are probably just starting out with adult programming. Like us, I would say just start slow and build up to see what your community responds to. Passive programs are a fun way to get people in the library and could be used to push book collections that maybe aren't moving. A lot of our passive programs are reading challenges. I mentioned that we did a summer reading bingo. We like to alternate between some sort of game like a bingo or a scratch card, and then just have them list out what books they're reading for the year. And then we create displays using those recommendations that they give. Another fun one that we like to do, and that's really popular, are the blind date with the book challenges. We've done a Valentine and a holiday themed, where you wrap the books to look like presents, and then each book comes with a little card that mentions the genre and maybe a short description or the first sentence of the book. Um, like I said, these are very popular at our library. We have to keep the shelves full weekly on those. Um, and then you can go into the staff-led groups, like with hobbies. I find a lot of people in the community that like to just talk and share their hobbies. We've done journaling, writing, crochet, art. So going to those community events, or just even asking around and seeing if they're willing to lead an event or class. And then outreach events are great to reach different communities that may not come into the library yet. So we take library information to community events to let the public know about our resources and also our event calendars. And it gives you a chance to talk and meet with potential partners for the programs that are other vendors at these programs. We also do programs at senior centers. Since they can't always make it to the library, we try to take the library to them. Some of them we do book requests. They can request a book and we'll bring it to them the next time, or it doesn't have to be a book. It can be any other resource that we have. And we also like to do an activity with them. It can be an adult story time, crafts. They they run like resource bingos at the senior centers. The for prizes they could do like dollar store necessities, body wash, lotion, household items. So every now and then we'll call bingo for them, and it gives us a way to let them know about what resources we have for them. These are just a few low-cost program ideas that we've started out with. Trivia, these can draw in all ages depending on your topic. Looking for popular events in pop culture, maybe a final season of a show. I think we did the season 8 finale of Game of Thrones and just did a trivia of that whole night. We had people dressed up. We offered themed refreshments and an activity. Are there any popular musicians? I know Taylor Swift's the big one right now, so libraries are hitting on that. Or maybe movie franchises like Marvel or DC superheroes. Um, or you could also base it on a time period if you want to be nostalgic and do like an 80s or a 90s trivia. We've also ran an adult coloring book when we first, coloring group when we first started. We created a calm atmosphere and just invited people to come color and relax. Um, this drew a big crowd. We were very surprised about that. And then with our writing group, when we first started, we did a series of programs around National Novel Writing Month in November, or NaNoWriMo. So these were weekly meetups for writers in the area that wanted to try and challenge themselves to write a novel or 50,000 words in 1 month. There's an official website for the event that you can get ideas and resources from that you can share with participants. And then at the end, we did hire a guest speaker to come talk about publishing process for anyone that wanted to try and publish what they wrote. Or you could find if you're lucky to have maybe a local author or bookstore in town that would help sponsor that or lead the publishing process group. And we do a lot of craft groups. Um, our crochet group has been going strong since we first started it. We opened it up to younger people as well. That way they can come and learn in from the age of 10 and up. A lot of mothers and families bring in their kids to learn. Um, and it's just a great chance for them to meet other crafters in the area and learn about other groups that may be meeting if they want to branch out. And our more experienced members with that are amazing. They help with all the newcomers that come and learn. I really, uh, I really appreciate how much they help with that. So you're always surprised with the participants that you get with their willingness to help during these programs. At first, we started asking everyone to provide their own supplies, but eventually I was able to buy a set of hooks and use donations of yarn to hand out to the new people whenever they're learning to practice. We also have a local sewing group that uses the library's meeting room from time to time to host free sewing classes for the community. So you might not be leading the program yourself, but you can count it towards the goal of bringing in people to the library because they're using your meeting room space. So they're still utilizing the library. Now we can get into partnerships, how we find and create our community partnerships to host programs at the library. We're able to do a high number of programs because of the partnerships that we've created. The only thing that we provide is a space and a staff member to help out if needed. Who can be a potential partner? You have local police and fire departments, artists and musicians. The county extension offices are a great resource. Hospitals, county health departments, banks. There's a lot of possibilities out there. You just need a plan and not be scared to reach out to make that connection. So if your library is part of a city or a county organization, then you may already have connections to the police and fire department. Many of them already have someone on staff that lead community awareness programs. Our police department has someone that leads online safety awareness, like how to spot potential scams or emergency preparedness, which also we have an emergency department manager that leads like hurricane awareness and preparing for those type of emergencies. You could also reach out to your fire department or EMPs to come out and offer health screenings. They also do classes on how to do use fire extinguishers, and there's I think it's in October, there's a national week that they do programs. Sorry, I can't think of it right now. So we used the pandemic to our advantage and reached out to local artists and musicians to feature in our online programming that we did. We were able to provide them with an opportunity to reach a new audience with live virtual shows. And then once we were able to safely host concerts in person, we started inviting people to the library to come watch the music shows and concerts. And now we have monthly concerts at the library that range from all genres, country, rock, jazz, that musicians and groups are just excited about coming to play in the library. They always make a joke that um, they don't have to be quiet because they're able to come in and play music, and it draws a large crowd. And then we have our monthly speakers programs where we invite community experts to come talk about any other trades or professions. Sometimes they'll lead a class on um, beekeeping. I think we had one do, or uh, there was another artist that talked about how he used AI in all his art. And I know that's a big thing right now. And then you have your county extension offices. This has been our most popular and easiest to work with. Um, we currently work with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Office, and they're able to provide us with a variety of nutrition and physical health classes um, that they already have planned. So we just work with them on scheduling the programs to host here. We do walk-in talks where a group walks around downtown. They get to talk with each other, and then they come back to the library to try a healthy snack and talk about nutrition. Most of the classes that AgriLife has are series classes. So you can get a 4-week class, a 6-week class, or an 8-week class. They're able to do cooking demos, and they also offer more than just nutrition and health classes. Some of the agents do money smart programs, lifestyle classes, and teach about budgeting as well. And we also work with our county's Master Gardeners group to do gardening classes, and we were able to start a seed lending library with them. They received the donations of seeds for us to start off with, and we used an old card catalog to store them in. And so eventually I want to work with them towards doing plant swaps and offering plant cuttings that patrons can take to try and grow and bring back for others to share. Hospitals are another great place that you can reach out to for partnerships. They usually have someone on staff that can lead a health literacy class, like managing diabetes or high blood pressure. We we've actually reached out to one of our local hospitals that have a gym, and we found an instructor to do monthly chair yoga classes. And this gives them the opportunity to do outreach um, for their organization and to meet new clients to bring to their classes that they run at the gym. We've also partnered with banks in the past to do financial literacy classes. Most banks need to do community outreach anyway, and they're happy to come lead a class. The banks I've worked with have topics that you can choose from, or you can give them an idea of what you're wanting to do with the program, and then they can create something with you. I've found it's easier to work with chain banks like Prosperity or First Convenient. A lot of the credit unions, they're a little harder to get a hold of, but definitely reach out to the more bigger ones in your area. And these partnerships are amazing because it frees up a lot of staff time to do other things, but you still get quality programs to offer to your library patrons. So now we'll get into marketing your event. There are many options out there to get the word out about your event. In-house, we create monthly flyers that go out a week or two before the new month starts. We use Canva to create these, which I know they have a free option, but there's a lot of other, I think Microsoft also has a version of Canva that you can use. And we also create little small flyers that highlight events that are happening during the week that we put near the checkout desk so patrons can grab them while they're returning books or checking out. Just a quick little reminder of what's happening. We also utilize an email newsletter service that sends out our monthly event schedule. This can just be or if you don't have an email newsletter service, you can just send out an email blast if you don't have it. You can collect patron emails during programs and ask if they want email reminders about upcoming programs. We also take our printed flyers around to local businesses that have community bulletin boards and ask if we're able to display them or put them on windows. If you walk around and notice a lot of businesses have flyers already in their windows, they're more than likely willing to let you put yours up as well. We take advantage of online calendars. The library has an online event calendar that we post to on our website. We also post our events to any community calendars that are available in the area. So look at local newspapers or news stations. They usually have an event calendar online, and they're willing to work with you to add your events to it. A lot of the events could also get printed in the paper for people to see as well if they have a little event section. We also worked with our local Chamber of Commerce. They have a community event calendar that we post to as well. And then for our bigger events, we try to reach out to these news stations, and if you have a radio station nearby, to do news segments. They usually do cost some type of advertising fee, but you may be able to work with them within your budget and see if it's something maybe they'd be willing to work or willing to donate a spot for the library for promotion. And then I always make a point during programs just to ask a few people how they heard about the event. So this will help me determine what avenue is working and where we need to spend more time focusing for our advertisement. So after you have all your programs, it's getting towards the end of one. I gather statistics for every program we do. This includes attendance. Um, it helps me see, did it bring in the amount of people that I thought it would? If not, is there something I can change or do differently next time? Maybe try a different date or a different time, a different day in the week or a different time of day. Verbal or paper surveys are a great way to get community input. You don't need to do them at every program or event, but at least take the time to get verbal input from a few people. But asking them if they enjoyed the program or letting them know about other events. Ask if they've been to any of the programs that you've offered. Just get talking with them. It helps you really understand like what you can change or what they really enjoyed. Um, Now the paper surveys, you can get a little more information about participants. You can ask about demographics, an age range. Are they city residents or maybe county residents? Or maybe they came from out of county to come visit the library. Um, Always ask if they have a library card, or if they don't, how you could get them to get one. Um, Asking them if they have any previous experience that they've had at the library. Was it their first time attending a program? Or maybe they would be interested in providing a program or demonstration for a future event for the library. So that's another good way of reaching out and creating a connection for another event that you can do. And then always make sure to ask information about the event that they just attended. Did they find it interesting? Was it something that they thought it would be? Like, was it advertised how they thought it would be? And what other programs would they be interested in attending? Okay, Okay, so we're getting toward the end. So all of these programs that I've been able to do at our library allow patrons a chance to get to talk and get to know others in their community. So it creates that social connection, which you hear a lot of people are missing. We found that true, especially with our agri-life classes. We'll have people stand around in the parking lot after the classes are finished, just so that they can continue to talk and get to know everyone that was in the class. We've heard feedback from some people that attend our programs that this is their chance to take a break from home life and do something for themselves. For example, maybe they're caregivers for a family member, or um, if they're parents, they just say they drop their kids off at a class. This is their time that they can go do something for themselves. And most of the classes that we do at the library or the events, they're able to come out and talk with other adults and just meet new people in the community. And that's how we're able to show that the library is a social hub and a place that you can just come and hang out and enjoy being around others.
Now,
This,
Brianna,
yeah.
I wanted to know what's your favorite program that you've run, like all
Um,
time?
of all time. We did a Star Wars night that was trivia. Um, but I enjoyed it because of everyone coming out to that was dressed up, and it was just fun to see all the costumes and see everyone kind of geek out about. I think it was when the new series, the new movies had started, the trilogy, um, and just hearing everyone's thoughts on what would happen with the new movie, the trilogy.
Yeah, that does sound like fun. Love Star Wars. The new movies I have my own feelings about.
Yeah, I'm sure a
There's
lot of them that had joined us that night weren't thinking of how it had started.
still a lot of
Yeah,
fun
just
though.
any of the events that I'm able to just talk with the people and get to know them. Those are like our crochet group. Um, it's always been up and down with attendance, but I feel like now we have a good group after COVID that they're um, they're becoming regulars and coming every time. Um, they just really enjoy meeting with each other and sharing all their designs and programs, or not programs, their patterns. Sorry.
How fun. Um, let's see. I wanted to know if there's anybody who's any of you guys who are watching. Um, what are some ways that you've done adult programming in your library, if you have?
Yeah, I'd love to hear any other ideas that people have done, or if you have any questions.
Yeah, feel free to put them in the chat too if you can't unmute yourself.
Yeah, I had seen earlier, like when I first started, there was the comment about the bingos in the library being illegal. Um, so ours was like a book challenge bingo. So we had the bingo squares um, marked out or had different genres that they needed to read. And if they read it, they could mark it out. And if they got the 5 in a row or so, they had a bingo that they could turn in.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, Julie says she had a lady who owns a pie shop come out and teach how to make pie crust.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
fun. Food is a big one that would bring people out.
Yes.
Anytime you can do something with food, they love it.
Yeah, I think that's universal. Like colleges, they're always like, "Hey, we have free pizza."
Yeah,
And everyone shows up for that.
we did kind of a cookie decorator. Yeah, those are good. We just did a glam your witch hat. Oh, that's fun.
That sounds fun. I'll do that.
We started doing kind of like paint and sip, and
Yes.
I usually get 40 people that show up for those. I trace out the canvases ourselves just using images I find online, and they just have fun coming in and painting.
Yeah,
Movie night and provide pizza and popcorn.
and a lot of gardeners. Oh,
Gardening,
cool.
yes, gardening is a big thing right now. um, with our AgriLife, they did a gardening program where AgriLife is an amazing resource if you have one in your area because they provide everything for the participants. So every time you come to the class, you get something to take home.
Cool.
So with gardening, you were able to take home like I think a pair of gloves and a gardening. It was a portable gardening planter, and
Oh,
I think for that one we did herbs. So each one, you got basil. Um, I can't remember what the rosemary and something else.
cool.
I have a session planned for grandparents, and it's to do crafts with the grandkids. Oh, that's cute.
And movie nights. Yes.
Movie nights are big.
Local seamstress. Oh, that's cool. That would be helpful. I
Mhm.
got I got a sewing machine and it scares me when I use it because it's really loud. It goes really fast.
We have a local quilting group that they bring in their sewing machines and create like a little sewing circle for people to do. Um,
Oh, cool.
and I think they call it a quilting bee, but it's basically an all day class that you can come in and learn how to create maybe a pillowcase or a small little quilting square.
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah. We
Like,
tried Legos for adults, but it wasn't a big hit. So I'm wondering if we should do it at a local brewery. Maybe we get more people.
Turkey Tuesday, edible crafts.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
I think this year we're gonna try like make your own seasoning mix before Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
So we'll buy a bunch of um, seasonings that they can mix together and kind of create their own little flavor.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone has a lot of good ideas.
Coffee and topics for them to talk about. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we do those. Something similar with we do like an activity on Friday morning um, for people to come in and either do a craft or if it's like the chair yoga class. But it was aimed more towards the seniors to come in and just talk. And uh, I think chess was a big one with them. They really enjoyed their chess games.
Yes. Even the chess has been rising up in high schools too. I had
It has.
back when I was teaching, one of my students would just bring his chessboard to class, and instead of doing his artwork like I needed him to, It's just playing chess, getting his table mates to also play. I'm like, Oziel, come on. Like, I'm glad you're doing this because good strategy. It's a timeless game, but
Yeah.
you need to do your work. So there's definitely a chess population out there.
Yeah. Our chess days have definitely grown to include younger kids now that want to come in and learn. Or maybe their parents had been teaching them and they just needed new people to play with.
Right. Increase interest of teens. Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed that, but it's good. Good that they're getting back into it.
Another popular passive program that we found that everyone liked was doing if your city layout allows it, but like a downtown scavenger hunt. We actually had a lot of adults do that one where we would put up either clues or puzzles that would lead them to another part of the downtown area, and they'd have to take a picture or solve an answer and bring it back to the library.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It helps them get out and they're able to take their kids with them. And
Yeah, that's a good idea. We did something similar during my trainings at like the first day training at my high school I worked at, and but they said you get points for creativity. So we had some really wacky ones. What are some things you're doing for Halloween?
we just did, let's see, Monday we did a Halloween paint and sip. Today we're doing our book club at a local bar downtown. The theme is horror. Tomorrow we're going to be at a coffee shop and do a zombie discussion. So all things zombies. I think uh, for teens we're going to do a Franken Toys event. So we'll have a bunch of stuffed animals that they get to cut apart and sew back together into their own little creations.
Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
sounds fun.
It's fun to see what they create.
Oh, I bet.
And then on Halloween night, we're going to do a Five Nights at Freddy's flashlight tags event.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. So we'll let them come in costumes, or we have a few of like the little masks that they can take.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll be a big one.
Oh yeah. I know with the new movie coming
Yeah,
out
with the movie
too.
coming out.
So a little late. I feel like they've been planning this movie for like 5 or more years at this
Yeah.
point. But tons of fun.
What has been the most challenging stuff for people when it comes to planning for adults? I know ours is is pretty much finding the right time to bring people in.
Yeah, what's the general time that you felt like
We find that 5:36 works best for people that work, but like when we're doing, say, our computer classes, when we try evenings, we don't really get that big of a crowd or that big of an audience. But if we do it earlier in the day, we get more participation.
Oh, okay. And do you run those normally on weekdays or weekends? Or
Um,
mixed?
Most of our programs are weekdays. We'll do a Saturday every now and then.
Okay, cool.
We usually don't do too many Friday programs because I know people are busy or they're wanting to go out, so we don't compete with that.
Unless they're going out to your event.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe Fridays would be a fun time to hold the trivia at the bar,
Yes.
the brewery.
Yeah, that those could be good days for you to go out and do something
Right.
at a different location. If anyone else wanted to share anything they're doing or if they had questions.
Yeah, guys, feel free to ask away. This is the time.
We've also noticed we have a big anime and manga fandom, I guess, around here. So if you can do any kind of events around that, you may get a few teens that are wanting to come, but we would open our events up to teen and young adults, which meant, I mean, parents could always come because they were interested in what as well.
Oh yeah, that's been on the rise. I remember back in high school being part of like the anime and manga club, and
Mhm.
they'd always look at us weird, but now it's become a lot more mainstream, which is a really nice change.
Yeah, most of our adult programs are the clubs that come in, like knitting group or book club.
Oh yeah, adult book club.
Yeah. Um, we have two book clubs that we do at the we have a true crime book club, and then I guess we call it like a no pressure book club. So we offer them a genre that they can pick, but not a specific book. So they can talk about whatever book within that genre.
Oh,
And
okay.
it kind of allows them a freedom of being able to choose what they want to read instead of being forced to read something that they may not like. I guess they're not forced to read it, but
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good idea.
yeah.
I like that. I'm part of a book club right now, and we always have the we have different genres, and then we vote on which one we're reading.
Oh,
And there's always like our poor moderator is always like, "Come on, guys, there's a tie. Please, someone break it." The worst is when we get a three-way tie, though.
oh man. I have noticed that knitting and crochet groups are big now because of everyone trying to learn during the pandemic and um, the freeze if you were affected by that.
Oh yeah, Snowvid.
Yeah. But a lot of the people that come into our group, they first started during COVID learning and they wanted a group to meet up with.
Oh, that's cool. I know one of the ways, especially if you're trying to reach more of a young adult crowd, is Discord. Maybe think about setting up like a library Discord.
Yeah.
Um, that's a great way to get people connected with like gaming and like just spending time together or creating D&D groups from there.
You may have to check with your if you have a city, like we have a city IT department, that would
Oh
probably let us know.
yeah. Yeah,
It
maybe
depends on how they can archive that communication.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe you can convince them to add to
Yeah.
school. Oh yeah. And by the way, guys, I also, when you get a chance, please fill out my post survey, by the way, for this. I need them for the TSLAC grant. But
You post the
yeah,
form in the comments. Okay.
yeah, I posted the form. But it'll also come out tomorrow with this the recording link as well as the transcripts, and um the form will be in there as well.
Okay.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share or ask before we fully close out? Brianna, do you have anything you want to add?
From what I've noticed for as long as I've done adult or yeah, for the years I've done adult programming, most adults want to come do something fun. It's the most popular. So if you could base that around maybe a book collection, or it kind of gives it a purpose instead of just doing a program. So like if you do trivia, you could base it around maybe a book series, or um, trying to think what else we did. If you did like a cooking program, you can pull out cookbooks to have for them to browse through. But it just depends on what your goal is with programming to think about.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, too. Again, the meeting recording is going to be going out tomorrow. So if you have someone who couldn't make it and you'd like to share with them, feel free to share that. And please take the survey. I need more of them. But thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.